Welcome back, Guardians, to another Destiny 2 video, and a slightly different one today. We're going to Photoshop some stuff and make each class and skill tree have 4 exotics on them. And today we're just going to be looking at the Titan and all 3 skill trees on the Titan. Tomorrow you will see the Hunters, and the day after that you will see the Warlocks. Now, I have been messing around in Photoshop for a while with this. You know, it's one of the videos I've invested most time into, and I think they ended up pretty cool. So if you agree, hit the like button, please. It helps out my channel immensely. Just a few likes here and there. Leave a comment telling me which is your favorite skill tree and build for the Titan, and what you would change if you did change anything. And on top of that, subscribe, hit the little bell, and follow me on Twitter. Link is in the video description. And don't worry about the weapons, don't worry about the masterworks. I just threw them on to kind of even up the picture because it looked a bit weird. We're just going to be focusing on the armors, and we're going to start with the arc tree. Now, first of all, I went for red and black because this is the very first one that I edited together, and my favorite colors are red and black. I should have really made them specific colors to their skill tree, which I did for some of them, but not for all of them, because I just love red and black. And this just looks so badass because it reminds me of like the Siva from Destiny. You know, Siva was one of my favorite aesthetics in any of the games, and the arms specifically and the red and black kind of throw out that Siva vibe, and then the rest of the armors all look kind of futuristic, kind of robotic, I guess. And I think it just has an incredible aesthetic and looks pretty damn cool together. Now, this is obviously going to be a melee build and a shoulder charge build specifically, or what we used to call in Destiny the chips and burger, me and DPJ. So the insurmountable score for, obviously, every time you get a shoulder charge kill, it will trigger health regeneration and restore melee energy. To back that up with the arms, we have the Synthoceps, which is increased melee lunge range, improved melee and super damage when you're surrounded. Now, you know, if we are going with Fist of Havoc, you know, and you're surrounded, you're going to do more damage, etc, etc. But that increased melee lunge range helps with, you know, stand-up punches when you're not shoulder charging. And obviously, when you get that kill with that increased melee lunge range, the insurmountable score fort will kick in and give you your health regeneration and also restore your melee energy, so that you have another charged melee energy to do it again. Another charged melee energy, another charged melee ready to go. Then we have the Severance Enclosure, which has, I don't even know, spheromatic trigger, I believe. Arc, Solar and Void melee final blows, and these are damaging explosions. Finisher and final blows against more powerful targets increase the radius and damage of that explosion. So again, when you're meleeing, when you're shoulder charging, you're going to have an explosion dealing damage to anything else that's around it. So these 3 kind of line up absolutely perfectly. And then last but not least, we have the Dune Marchers, or Dune Marchers, depending on how you pronounce it. And we have linear actuators, increases sprint speed. Sprinting builds up a static charge. After melee attacking an enemy, that charge will chain damage to nearby enemies. So if you really think about it, 1 shoulder charge melee could restore your health, restore melee energy, or an increased melee lunge range with the Synthoceps if you're not shoulder charging, and you will have more damage while you're surrounded as well. And then we have explosions when you do kill that person with that charged melee, and then on top of that you run faster, which means you can get closer to people quicker. And after melee attacking an enemy, it will also chain damage to nearby enemies. So you're going to get explosion, chain damage, constant melee up, constant regenerated health. It's unbelievable, and probably one of my favorite setups. And what I found was with the Titans specifically, they have a lot more exotics that are tied to specific skill trees than other classes, and they just look better. They come together better than most other classes and were easier to Photoshop for me on a general basis. So I absolutely love this. It was the first one that I looked at and put together. And let's move on to the other Titan builds. So now we are going with Void, and this wasn't my favorite of all the Titan builds because I think the look of it was kind of all over the place, but I do like the Doomfang Pauldrons look, and You know, the legs look okay, but I had to brighten them a little bit in Photoshop to kind of bring it closer to the purple of the rest of the Titan. And then obviously we have the helmet, which I'm not a fan of in general, but it is a good helmet for this build, and I think it turned out okay. Like, I like it. It's definitely not as good as the Arc one for me, but let's have a look at the perks on this build for Void. So we have the Helm of Saint 14. Enemies that enter Ward of Dawn are blinded, while allies that pass through gain an overshield. Guarding with Sentinel Shield blinds nearby enemies. So this is going to be kind of like a support build in a way. And while you're in that bubble, if you wish to be in a bubble, we have the Doomfang Pauldrons. Void melee kills give super energy. Because you are so protected within the Ward of Dawn, you're going to be able to punch people quite easily and then get your super back ready for another Ward of Dawn or running around with the Sentinel Shield. And on top of that, we have, while Sentinel Shield is active, melee kills recharge shield throw, which extends your super on hits. So constantly you can keep up your Sentinel Shield by meleeing people, getting your shield throw back and throwing your shield, which then further extends your super. So if you don't want to use the Ward of Dawn, you have this as a backup for the other part of that skill tree. Then we have the Crest of Alpha Lupi, which it was very hard to find a chest piece that fit this, but we have the Survival Well, generates an additional orb of light from supers, and a healing pulse when barricade is activated. So, you know, you're playing that support role again, being able to get a healing pulse and generate more orbs of light for yourself and for teammates, and obviously then get your super back quicker with Void melee kills and just helping out your team basically by being a supportive player, as a Void Titan should be. And then we have the Antaeus Wards. Now, this was kind of like a hit or miss for me, but it's called Reflective Vents, the armor perk, and we have Improved Slide. Sliding reflects incoming projectiles. Reflecting projectiles grants super energy. So I just threw this in because I wanted to have something a little bit different from all the other builds, and obviously you grant your super energy back quicker, so you can keep getting that Dawn of Ward together, and then you're in there punching things and getting more super energy, and then you also can gain more orbs of light for your teammates and also heal yourself on barricade being activated. So it's very much a support build, and that was kind of what I threw together. Again, not my favorite of the three, but I did want to put, you know, all exotic armors to use in some way, shape or form. But now let's move on to the solar build. Now this was a little bit more difficult for me to Photoshop together. Specifically, the helmet looked too big for the body. When I equipped it just on my normal legendary armor, it looked and fitted pretty well, but then when I put all the exotics together, it just didn't look right. So I had to do many changes to the helmet. It might not look like it, but it was very intricate, and trying to cut it out and fit it onto the neck of the exotic armor. And then the arms themselves, no matter what shader you put on them, it is very, very bright. So I had to take that and specifically bring down the darkness of the colors to match pretty much everything else. And I kind of left the exotic chest plate obviously to have that bright orange, so it just brings you focused into the middle. And I do like the look of this. So let's look at the perks. So for the helmet, we have the Kepri's Horn, and it's solar rampart, sorry, not rampant. Solar damage kills recharge your barricade, which unleashes a blast of solar energy when summoned. Now this was something that I just wanted to throw on because I wanted to use a different exotic to the other two builds, but you know, that can always be useful, banging down your barricading and blowing things up. Then we have Ashen Wake for the arms, and that is Bring the Heat. Fusion grenades now explode on impact and gain increased throw speed. Final blows with fusion grenades grant grenade energy. Wow, that was a mouthful. So obviously throwing grenades, fusion grenades, sticking people is quicker, easier, and it's an instant blow up, and you get your grenades back faster. So you're going to be constantly throwing grenades with this build. And then we have the Hallow Fire Heart, kind of what this is built around. The Sun Fire Furnace perk improves the recharge rate of your solar abilities, so obviously you get your grenades back even faster, and it greatly improves recharge rate while your super is charged. So you're going to be constantly getting all your abilities back, but more specifically those grenades, so you can fusion grenade people, stick it to them, and get more grenade energy. So this is very much just a bombardment of grenades. And then for the legs, we have the Phoenix Cradle, Beacons of Empowerment. Sun Warrior lasts twice as long, and allies who pass through your sunspots are granted Sun Warrior. Obviously, when you're using your super and you're getting all your grenade energy back and all your ability energy back, you're also hitting sunspots on the floor, and that can help out your teammates. Now, the perks for this build aren't as good as the arc perks, but I still feel it goes together pretty well. And you know, it took me a while to kind of figure out what armors can go on each skill tree, but also use different armors. And Titan was very simple for that. It was very easy to put together. But for you know, for arc, it was super easy. But the other two, I kind of had to, you know, mess around and be like, okay, maybe this, maybe that. And eventually I put all of these subclasses together with 4 exotics on. So in the comments down below, let me know which is your favorite, which one stands out to you the most, whether that's with perks, with looks, anything of that nature. Just hit the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, because obviously hitting the like button helps my channel out immensely. And if you wish to see more videos, subscribe, hit the little bell next to it and turn the notifications on to all, so you will get an update of when my videos are live. More specifically, the next 2 videos, tomorrow and the day after, will be the other 2 classes, the Warlock and the Hunter. And yeah, so I enjoyed making these and putting these together. It took a long time. It took multiple hours, multiple nights of working on this and getting it to work pretty well. So yeah, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Follow me on Twitter and tweet at me if you wish to. It's in the video description. And I really enjoyed this, so expect more. At least 2 more videos anyway. So thank you for watching. I've been easynow, and you guys have been awesome.